Welcome to Video Game Storyteller. In this series, we will take a look at specific moments in video games that were incredibly engaging and left an impact on the player. It's not about what story is told, it's how it's told. In this episode, we will visit David Cage's PlayStation 3 entry, Heavy Rain, and drop by Manfred's shop. Heavy Rain follows 4 people, each one trying to find the elusive origami killer. This murderer kills young boys with the rainwater, and he has recently kidnapped his next victim, Sean Mars, the son of Ethan Mars, one of the playable characters. Each one of these people is trying to find the killer in their own way, but if they do not act soon, Sean Mars will be killed. Heavy Rain is something of a slow burn. The first 5 or 6 hours is just an introduction for the characters. Even when Sean is kidnapped, things do seem to meander a little. However, by the time Ethan gets the car, the game is, ironically, in full throttle. The game never relents in the suspense, and every chapter is either action-packed or packed with tension. That is true for this chapter as well. The chapter Manfred was able to generate tension by making the setup feel natural and organic, while turning everything against the player. Scott Shelby, a private detective hired by the families who were victimized by the origami killer, decides to work with Lauren Winter, a woman whose son was also killed by the origami killer. She gives him his next lead, an envelope, addressed to Lauren's husband, which came in the morning of the disappearance of Johnny, Lauren's son. Scott and Lauren try to see if they can trace the typewriter used to type the address on the envelope, so they go to Scott's friend, Manfred. Scott and Manfred seem to be old friends and decide to celebrate their reunion. His antique store seems to be filled with curiosities as well. It's a nice little scene that adds some character to both Shelby and Lauren. Eventually, they decide to go to business. Manfred identifies which typewriter is used, and it looks like Scott and Lauren have their next lead. So far, nothing has really clued the players that something will happen. The most unnerving thing in this scenario is the ambient sound of the clocks. But it turns out that this whole scenario is a setup. Take a look at how this scene plays out and how it creates the tension.
Hello?
Manfred!
Hello? Your call is logged, sir. A police car will be there in a few minutes. I need to know who you are, sir. Sir? Hello?
Oh my God! He's dead. Oh, God. Poor old man. He didn't deserve to go like that.
Scott? Oh my God.
What are you doing?
I'm calling the police.
The killer has already called the police. I think he wants us to be his scapegoats. We gotta get the hell out of here.
What do you mean? We have nothing to do with his death. We were just here when it happened.
Look, we're running out of time to find Sean Mars. The last thing we need is 24 hours in a police station explaining this whole thing.
Well, so what do we do?
Watch the front door. I'll get rid of our fingerprints from everything we touched since we came in. You better work fast. The police are going to be here any minute.
And just like that, it has become a memory game. What did Shelby touch? What did Lauren touch? Were you even paying attention? The complacency of the scenario has betrayed the players as seemingly pointless details suddenly become incredibly crucial. The players need to rush to remember everything, as the police are on their way and cleaning each item takes time. What further adds to the tension of this scene is that the usual suspenseful music is played on top of all of the clocks in Manfred's shop still ticking. The ambient sound of the antique store has become a literal timer for the players. There were a few things the game could have done to make this scenario more suspenseful. The player could just wander around the shop and clean everything that could be interacted, so the developers could have added some red herrings. There could have been items in the shop that the characters did not touch, but the players could pick up and clean, which would waste their time. This would have placed a greater emphasis on remembering what Shelby and Lauren touched. Also, if the players forgot to clean something, it is revealed by the time they leave the shop. The reveal should have come in another later chapter, that way the player can't just reload the moment the game reveals what they forgot. Still, this was an incredible chapter. The plot thickened with the origami killer, and the slow chapter suddenly became a tense chapter, turning the player's desire to play with everything in the map into damning evidence which could cost the life of Sean Mars if the player wasn't quick enough or allowed something to slip their mind. Thanks for watching. I know this scenario has a plot hole if you have already finished the game, so if you want to talk about it in the comments below, please warn if you are posting a spoiler. Until our paths cross again, see you, Clever Dad.